so much, Zeke.
To us in the studio.
We're back in the studio.
Hello.
Well,
This is yours truly.
welcome back to yours truly,
With Lucy and
Azsia.
Nice. We are here. Well, actually, I was thinking about this on the way over because I was listening to our last episode to make sure we didn't repeat ourselves on anything on this episode.
That's so good.
Because I think I say the same 5 things just over and over again that go
My
on
life
in my
is a
life.
compilation of the same things that I say over and over
And
again.
so I was like, oh, we could talk about this. And I was like, what did I talk about that like last week? And I realized something that's pretty humbling in this podcast is I think I say a lot of phrases wrong.
What do you mean?
Like I was listening to last week's episode and I said from the get-go. What? I don't know.
From the gecko, like lizard? From the get-go, right?
But I don't even know how that makes sense either.
From the get-go. I don't know.
I don't think either makes sense. But I think I've been saying gecko.
It's definitely not gecko.
I know it's not.
I can tell you that right now.
But
From the get, but that is a saying.
Yeah.
From the get-go, like
I feel like it
Like
should be
from
from the
the
word go.
from the start, like
From the start go. But like why from the get and then go?
Get-go. I don't know.
Anyway, I was just thinking about it on the way over. I was like,
Interesting.
I think I've always said gecko. I don't know if it just flows better off my tongue.
I constantly say billboard.
Do you really?
Yes. And now I know. Like for a long time, I didn't know. I think it was in college that someone was like, "It's not. There's not an A in there. It's billboard." And I was like, "What?" But I still catch myself saying it.
Is it because of Billabong?
I think so.
The surf
Billabong,
company?
yeah.
That makes
Yeah.
sen's
I'm a loyal fan of
Billabong.
Billabong. You know.
Billabong. I haven't heard of them in years.
Yeah, me neither. I'm not really an avid surfer, so, or like live by the beach.
No, I don't buy any. I bet they still sell flip-flops, but
Probably.
I've not worn flip-flops in years at this
I
point.
haven't either.
I
That's
just
a great
think they're
point.
like done.
Yeah.
Who's still wearing flip-flops if you're not actively
Actually,
living on the beach?
I do have like a, they're technically like, it's like a flip-flop platform sandal from
yeah, you
Urban.
do.
I do have those, but that's like, I haven't worn flip-flops.
Part of me thinks they would melt here.
I don't know, maybe.
Like the flimsy like isn't it
Well, it
plastic?
depends on the I was gonna say the flavor, the material.
In my mind, I'm only thinking of the Old Navy $3
Yeah.
pairs.
No, I wore like the leather rainbow ones for years, like that. Oh, I mean, I guess
In Idaho,
Yeah.
we were in a flip-flop kind
yeah.
of
I mean, flip flops
area.
they're around here still
Yeah,
in the summer.
'cause it
But
is
if I
hot.
wore flip flops for probably the last like year, like many years, it was the rainbows.
Okay.
They're good sandals, but
I
I
really
don't
like
wear
them.
them anymore.
No.
I don't wear those.
It was Birkenstocks as soon as I went to college.
yeah.
Like GCU, you were
Yeah.
so uncool
if you didn't have.
if you did not have
That's so funny because
Birkenstocks.
I got them when I was in college at Azsia
Yeah.
because it was like so popular, and I was
I
like,
don't know
Mom,
what
I
that
have to
trend-
get
yeah.
these to like be in.
It wasn't working for like the first semester of me in college just because I could not find a job anywhere on campus. And I think I had like maybe $300 to my name.
Yeah.
150. I was like, Birkenstocks, I have to have them. Everyone else here has them.
I feel like they're not super good for hot weather though. Like they seem like a lot. Like I feel like they're better. I like them better with like socks in cold.
Oh, well, I definitely never wore them with socks. Like I had the sandal
Oh.
and it was just like everybody wore them all the time.
I feel like they were just such like I think in Arizona you want like the least material possible.
Yeah.
Because it's so hot.
The leather was like thick. But
Yeah.
Anyway,
Whatever.
all that to say, I still have them and I haven't worn them in like years now. So everything comes and
the
goes.
Boston clogs though.
I do still love those and I
They-
don't have the actual
They
brand.
came. I think they came in like last year.
Yeah.
Pretty hot.
I know. I still want the actual name
They're
brand because mine
expensive.
are
They're expensive.
kind of falling apart and they're
Yeah.
off brand.
Yeah.
I'm actually wearing them today.
I got mine off. I did the Poshmark thing because I was like I can't.
Yeah.
It was like $100 and I mean
That is pretty steep.
the real ones though are
Or
like
140.
More than that, I
What?
think. Yeah.
No way.
Depends on, like, if you want, like, which sway do you want. There's a couple different.
Okay. Fair enough. Damn, I wanted to try to stop saying that. It's so irritating to me. Darn. We have to catch up on Love is Blind.
Yeah.
So last week we talked about the first episodes.
Yes, I feel like Love is Blind is taking culture by
It is
a chokehold.
It's
like,
all over for me right
it
now.
is all, like, I feel like, and I'm telling everyone.
Yeah. I think a lot of people watch Love is Blind.
Yeah, I think it's like even grown. Like, it was popular. It's been popular, but I think it's even grown. Like,
yeah,
even more so this time around.
I agree. They released their second batch of episodes, so I think we have one more batch.
They usually do one more batch, and then the last one
is the reunion.
They or the last. They usually do like the finale and maybe the reunion like
together
on its own,
because they don't want to know. We don't want to. They don't want to tell us that they said I do.
I don't think we'll get the finale.
It's irritating.
But we will get Jimmy and Jess meeting.
Yes.
I think that's what everyone wants to know.
I feel like I don't care that much, which is shocking.
Really?
I don't know why. We left the first batch of episodes with 5 couples, and now we ended the second batch with 4.
Yeah.
Because
one just broke up.
Kenneth and Brittany are Splitsville.
Yeah.
And I think I loved him, and I had the egg is on my face. I listened to last week's episode, and I'm like, they're gonna say yes at the altar.
Yeah.
They barely made it an episode.
I had high hopes for them, but I think he turned out okay. I'm not really a fan of really any couple.
No, I don't really like any of them.
And the guys are really not.
No.
The girls aren't great either.
Yeah.
But the guys are really not.
None of them are really all that
not
in any capacity.
Stand-up dudes. I feel like they're not. Or like at least they're the edits they're getting and the light that they're being shown in is not good.
They're getting bad edits.
That's
for sure.
They are.
Kenneth went mute.
Yeah, so this couple, they had religious similarities. Like they were both faith-based, so it was like cool. That's like
we were excited.
Yeah, that was
I was excited as a viewer.
And a huge thing in a relationship, like if you're aligned faith-wise, like that's huge because there's so many
people that are not.
But and they're like all into each other in the pods, and then as soon as they get in the honeymoon, he like goes mute almost. He like doesn't speak.
Yeah.
And then it gets even worse when they go home and he gets his phone back.
That's honestly what drove me. That was the most annoying thing.
He was on his phone constantly.
Like they're pretty much in the process of breaking up.
Yeah.
And like he is on his phone while she is crying.
Yeah, and he just like would sit there and she'd be talking, he'd be like,
like not
like swiping. Like,
literally on. That's what would drive me up a wall.
Get off your phone and like say something, anything.
Yeah, I would lose it. But I think that's a big pet peeve of mine in general is just people being on their phone a lot.
In the presence of somebody else.
Yeah. Especially when you're talking.
When you're one-on-one.
Yeah.
Like, so what is the other, like, it just, like, if it's in a group setting, like, okay, whatever, do what you need to do. But, like, if you're one-on-one with somebody.
It drives me nuts.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, she, like, brought it up, like, brought it to the table that, like, they weren't clicking. They weren't like something was like off, missing. Like they weren't being affectionate, and like she was like, I'm just like missing some of the crave, and then he totally puts it on her, and he's like, well, I'm not missing the crave, it's you, so you're telling me you don't want to do this anymore. He's like, okay, no emotion, put it all on her. I was like, you're the one who completely shut down, did not speak, completely turned inward, and then just put it on her, like made her be the one to like break up. Yeah,
I agree. I think it's like this gross, new, somewhat popular way of ending a relationship is like you are just waiting for the other person to do it. And so I think as soon as he noticed that she was going to say anything, he grabbed onto it and ran with it. And he was like, well, it's just not going to work then, I guess. And he was like, well, I like you and I'm attracted to you, but obviously you're not, so we need to be done. And then he was like, bring it in, and then they hugged.
So
she kept crying.
She's crying. She's the one doing the breaking up, and she's crying, and he's just like, okay, I'm going to go to my friend's house. Yeah. Like totally like blank.
On his phone while she's just standing at the kitchen counter crying.
Yeah.
I was grossed out.
It was irritating.
Because I did like him. Because he was like
Yeah.
really respectful at the beginning of the honeymoons. And then like midway through, he just like shut down
Yeah.
or something. And I wonder if he like almost didn't want to end it because I just wonder if he didn't want to be like edited bad.
Yeah, I think sometimes people, they just don't want to be the one to end it. But that
Yeah.
is so selfish, and it just puts it on the other, like a lot of pressure on the other
Yeah.
person, because then you feel like you have to bring it up, and like, and then when you're made to feel like you're the only one who feels like that, when you're in a partnership where you're clear, like something's clearly off, it just like makes you feel dumb.
It does. And
So I
it's
felt
like,
bad
so
for-
what was I right in
Yeah,
thinking
you
this?
just like, it's very confusing on the human
I
psyche.
agree.
I feel like.
So they're out.
Yeah, they're gone.
Hope Brittany's doing well.
Yeah.
She seems great.
She does seem good. At least she knows what she wants.
Kenneth needs to figure out why he's on his phone all the time and why he was so excited to get it back. Because he was the only person that mentioned he's like, I'm so excited to have my device
Yeah, he was
back.
really, I mean, again, it's edits, but he was really the only one that they showed that was like so into
like
the
when it cut to
phone.
his interview, he was like, I'm so excited to have, he literally said, I'm so excited to have my phone back. So, and then we have Jimmy and Chelsea, who seemed like they were on the mend during the rest of the honeymoon. And then when they got back,
I know.
It seemed like, well, first of all, he called her clingy, which would be, I would be pretty devastated if my fiance called me clingy. But then his girlfriends were like, that's what you've literally always wanted.
Yeah.
So you can't be mad. And so I don't really know what the producers are leading up to, except for the fact that I feel like Jessica's going to stir the pot.
Yeah, Jess is coming into the picture and they're like amping it up. My honest thoughts with, like, because he says a lot of the right things. So to the natural ear, I feel like you would believe that and you'd be like, okay, but I'm not buying it. Like, I feel for her because I just like know what she, like, I feel like I know what she's feeling. Like, she just feels like it's off. And when someone's telling you something, but you feel like you're like, then you become clingy because you're like trying to like get the actual honest truth out, and they're just not doing, like, they're not saying it.
I do agree with that. He lacks a lot of like passion and like,
so he really could be, and I could be misreading because I do that all the time too, like misreading somebody. But he'll say like, I love you, but then like I just can tell she doesn't like feel it, and maybe that's her insecurity too. Like, it's probably both stirring them. Yeah. Making the mix. But yeah, I'm curious to see like if his true colors, like if they end up, because if they do end up and try to make it work, then maybe he was.
I don't think they are. I think they're Splitsville on this next round. Yeah. I would honestly love it if they both just switched it up and he ended up with Jessica and she ended up with Trevor.
I just don't really like Jess either, I'll be honest.
No, but I don't really like Jimmy, so I don't really care
I don't really,
who they end up with.
I just feel like he made his bed and he said he didn't want her, and I feel like she... Yeah. I mean, even though I don't like her, she does deserve better than that. Yeah. Like, she deserves better than someone that was like, meh, you have a kid, and I don't...
That's true.
But I feel like I would, if I was in her position, I'd probably be acting different, but she...
That makes sense.
Is just not coming across.
She's coming across very immature and very
like
high school.
Not a girl's girl. Like, I feel like she knows how she comes across to men, and she's using it.
Definitely. I think was it this last round of episodes where AD and Clay,
oh my god,
were still on the beach and he had soup?
I don't remember that.
Remember, he's like slurping.
He's slurping it. Yes. He's slurping it, and she just
was like dumbfounded. I was like, having soup in a hot tropical location is wrong. Yeah. On so many levels. I think that's weird.
I would agree.
You never order soup on the beach. In what world?
Like, it's raining
also,
outside.
what shrimp soup are you ordering? That's hot.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Clay and AD they're absolutely
They're
not.
also
They're not
donezo.
gonna make it.
They're not going to
No.
make it. The way he was talking to her in front of his mother, shocking.
Yeah, so
I was like,
snappy
I'm so
and like
uncomfortable.
attitude. I'm like, why are you acting like that in front of your mom?
Yeah, there's no way they're making it.
He basically almost verbatim said, I will cheat on you.
Yeah. He's like, I just don't think I could commit to one person.
He's like, all of the men that I look up to in my life have been unfaithful.
I also was like kind of weirded out because he did bring up celebrities too.
Yeah.
He was like, Will Smith.
He's like idolizing these celebrities.
what?
He's like, yeah, they've all been unfaithful. So I was
like, I don't think you can really compare that to your life. And also, like, that's not right. Like, it's still wrong.
No. Yeah.
He's like, but Will Smith did it, so it's fine.
Yeah, I feel like it's like a way to justify.
He was like trying to justify why he would like almost want an open marriage.
Like, not to say like if that happens in like with your parents' relationship, that's not to say you're doomed, but he was almost saying like it's just so familiar
it's gonna happen.
to me. Like it's my normal. And I was like, I just don't know how I would feel if I was taking
I'd
be like,
all right,
so
then we're not
what
doing
are you
this.
saying? Like at the end of the day, like what are you telling me?
Yeah. I agree. I was like,
do you want to be different than that or not? And it wasn't that.
Are you trying to like
break
pre-game it almost to a fact that once you do cheat, you'll be like,
I told
everybody,
you.
everybody does.
You. Yeah.
But they're not making it.
No.
Amy and Johnny.
Yes.
I don't know. Johnny's being weird about the whole like birth control thing.
Yeah.
And so
yeah,
I feel like I don't know though if they're just trying to figure out something that's wrong with this couple trying to like get something to stick.
Like,
but I'm like
up that issue because that's really the only
just
thing.
It's just like not that big of a.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of where she's come. She's like, I didn't think it would be.
I wouldn't know.
And he's like freaking out. Maybe he just isn't educated enough.
That's fair too.
Maybe he needs a little bit of education on birth control and other modalities.
Yeah.
Because they like clearly don't want to have children.
Not until I'm financially ready. And I'm like, dude,
what does that mean?
Yeah, you're like buying a house. It feels like you might be okay if it does happen. And then the last one is, I don't know either of their names.
What's the guy's name? It's Laura.
Jeremy?
Maybe.
Why are there so many J's?
There are a lot of J's.
I think it is Jeremy.
Laura is the blonde.
Yeah. I don't like either of them, really.
No, I don't either. They're messy.
A lot.
She's a lot. And he's a liar.
He is. I love it because I've seen on my like TikTok that all the people who live in North Carolina in Charlottesville are like, this restaurant that he says they're at doesn't even have a parking lot. Like there's no way they would have been like,
yeah.
So I love it because they're like outing him online because they're like, we live here and that's not the case.
It's crazy to me how people go on. I mean, I get it. These people are probably more normal than like a lot of other reality TV shows, but you're gonna go on this reality TV show and then you're gonna like lie and like say that you did things that didn't happen or like try like I'm like you're filmed and people are gonna come after you.
This is why we need Netflix and the Bachelor producers to be more like Bravo.
Yeah.
I need you to cut to
you guys
him at the bar with Sarah Ann. And as soon as he's like, no, I wasn't with her, cut to footage of him with her.
Because Bravo,
this is what I need.
Bravo completely drags people through the mud when they say something and they'll cut to the footage.
Because I'm thinking of on The Bachelor, on the 2-on-1, when I don't even remember the girl's name. Not Mariah. Sarah, the blonde, the one that went home.
What is her name?
She's not important.
Yeah.
But she was the one on the 2-on-1 that wasn't Maria.
Yeah.
And she was like, Maria, you literally called us all these names. And then Maria was like, do you not understand? We are filmed all the time. And I'm like, Bachelor, cut to the footage.
Pull the footage.
Unless I guess it isn't real because she never did that.
That's true.
But I'm like, what do these people think? You are filmed all the time.
And honestly,
you're gonna lie and cover it up
to be like in Joey's position. Like, could you like go to the producers and be like, "Listen,
so did she
show me the footage? I want to see them fighting." Like, I would do that. I'd be like,
I'd be like, cut to the footage.
I'm like literally trying to find my husband on here. Show me the footage.
Whether or not they're lying to my face right now. You can record me watching
There's so much drama of like he said or she said this, and he's like,
absolutely.
He's like, I don't know who.
He's like, I don't care. Just show me the footage. That's what I 1,000% would be like all the time. I'd be like, cut Show it
Let
to
me
me.
watch it.
Let me watch it.
Let me watch this fight and
so,
see.
yeah, no. They're breaking up.
Yeah. So, yeah, I really don't think anyone's going to
I don't think so either.
mutually say yes.
The only ones is maybe Amy and Johnny.
Yeah.
And
maybe.
that's if he gets over it and figures it out.
Educated.
Yeah. So, but then moving to The Bachelor.
Yes. What
happened last week? Just tell me. I haven't watched it.
Okay.
They were in Canada.
They did go to Canada. Oh, I told Lucy, I was like, Joey really went through it this week. He like was just like having, I don't even remember if there was anything specific, but like feeling, I think down, like kind of down. Like it's like, it's like interesting. I mean, I don't know how I would be in that position, but like I've heard other bachelors and bachelorettes say, or like get worried that it isn't gonna work, and I'm in my mind I'm like, you have all of these women here who
I would
like
be terrified of that,
die hard. But I guess he was like, just I think maybe not having hope in it and being like, I just like don't know, probably just with the stress of it and then like drama and
He's so sweet.
you know. But he like got emotional on camera and I was like, oh,
I love him so much.
Stop being so great. So and then tries to go on like a group date, and then all the other girls are feeling like I'm not getting enough attention. And then do you want me to just tell you everything?
Yep.
Okay.
You'll get my real life reactions on this podcast.
So
right
Maria gets a one-on-one.
Let's go. I love Maria.
It's great.
I love her.
Yeah, it's great. It's very like, I saw like a thing on Instagram and it was like, thank you to Joey and Maria for bringing the Bachelor franchise back to what it's supposed to be.
So good.
Yeah, it was good. I like her a lot.
She got a rose.
She got a rose. Yeah,
that's good.
She stayed.
Who got the other one-on-one?
Such a good question. Oh, the other Kelsey. There's two Kelseys.
Okay.
She also got a rose, so she's staying too.
Who got the group date?
The group date.
Better not be Jess. Did Jess go home?
No. Oh my gosh.
Did Jess go home?
He sent Jess home.
No way.
At the group date.
Let's go.
So she goes in. They're like,
yes,
this group date. All the girls were like, I'm gonna tell him that I'm falling for him. Blah blah blah. And so she's like gearing up for this conversation, and he like sits her down and she's like telling him that her feelings are growing, whatever. And he's like, I just like, I'm not there like with you, and I don't know why, and I don't think it's fair to like keep you here. And she's like shocked. Get it. Like shocked, and obviously cries and then leaves.
Did she say bad stuff about Maria on the car ride home?
She didn't act. She was just like, I mean, kind of the classic, I just don't know why, like, sad. It's sad. It is sad.
That actually is really sad whenever they all go home and they're like, what's wrong with me? And you're like, oh.
They're like, I just want to find love. And
I just want to be loved.
Sis.
And I'm like,
same.
That's so devastating.
But that was a big one. I don't remember who got the actual. It might have been, yes, I think it was, I don't remember her name. She went on the surfing date.
Oh, my gosh. No.
Yeah.
Jen?
Yes. I don't love her.
I don't either. I think, how many times are you going to bring up the surfing date?
But
let's move on, sister.
And I think he gave it to, so all, like a lot of the girls were feeling
insecure on
the group date.
Okay.
Which is totally like,
yeah.
I feel like if you're not feeling that, then like,
I think you're going to go home.
Yeah, almost. Like I just feel like that's an appropriate feeling to be like, I'm on a date with multiple other people vying for this. Like I feel like that's a natural emotion.
I agree.
She was like the one that was like probably the most outgoing, and I think he just like appreciated that since he was like,
he was down,
kind of sad. But I think she's just not as serious as like, which I don't know. I just get the impression that she's still a little bit like, I don't remember how old she is. Maybe she's like younger, but just like not at like just kind of like willy-nilly.
Okay.
Yeah. But she got the rose, and then going home, Leia went home.
Ah, good.
The one with
we knew she was out of there.
Yeah.
The one with
the weird
weird slicked one streak down her face. If it's a trend, I don't get it.
Slicked back, and then like the two like, string bean pieces. Yeah. She went home. There's other ones that went home that were like kind of
Rachel.
The chemist. Or the scientist. Like she went home.
She just didn't get there in time.
She didn't. Yeah,
she didn't have enough time.
There might have been one more, but I'm not remembering. It might have just been those two.
My front runners.
Something else happened because the front runners, I had 4, And so Lexi, she goes to talk to him. She's the one that has endometriosis and like wants children.
Oh,
so she goes to talk to him like off.
Yeah.
You know, and obviously not it's on camera, but and she's like, I just have been like thinking about this a lot, and like because they had a conversation earlier, and she like asked what his timeline was, and she's like with kids I have to move a little bit faster. I think she's like in her early 30s. So she's like, I'm like wanting to get married and have kids like pretty fast. And so she asked like what his timeline was, and it looked a little bit different than hers. Not that he was like so like hard on it, but he's like, I just was thinking a little bit longer of an engagement, which is fair when you get engaged on The Bachelor. Yeah. Like you
got a date for
we've known each other for 5 minutes, so we got to be engaged a little bit longer. And then like wanted to be married for like maybe 2 years before having kids. Makes sense. So like pretty standard. General. Yeah, pretty standard general. It wasn't like, oh, this I'm waiting till this point. But I think that scared her. And so she goes to talk to him later and is like, I have to move forward a little bit more quicker than other girls, and I don't want to put you in that position, and I don't want to be put in that position. So she left. And he was pretty shocked by that. She left? Yeah. What? Yeah, so she left. I felt like it was a pretty adult conversation. Like they both handled it well. The only thing I would say is I feel like she went into the conversation with her mind made up. It wasn't like, hey, are you open to
that sucks
changing this or like, are you open to a different timeline? So I think he felt a little like, well, we've had one conversation about this. Like but she already had made up her mind. But probably where she's coming from is like, I don't want to go into a relationship hoping that will change. And then when it doesn't, like, so like I see it, but she just had different goals.
That makes sense.
But he was pretty bummed about that. So she was one of my four.
I think my tops are Kelsey A.
Yes, I like her.
Cute Kelsey. I love her. I like her. Daisy.
Yeah.
Love Daisy and Rachel. I think those are my top 3. And I don't even think I have a 4th.
Yeah, Lexi was my 4th, but she's out.
She's done.
I can't really...
Well, I guess Maria maybe.
Yeah.
I really like Maria.
Maria is creeping up.
I just don't think they're
I feel like there's always you typically on like The Bachelor. There's always one girl that's like the fun kind of. Yeah. They're very attracted to like each other, but like there's less substance. I feel like it might be that like she's really fun.
That makes sense.
Like gorgeous. I think he like likes being around her, but I'm not sure if it's like the one that's like we're gonna build a life together.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you got to give me short summarized version. All right. Of this trend that's going around.
I'm not sure if you guys have heard of this thing. I don't even know where I saw it. I think like maybe some influence or like some people were posting about it, but this lady originally posted this on TikTok.
Yeah. TikTok.
I don't have TikTok, clearly. But it's called Who the F Did I Marry? And she basically goes on and shares this whole story of how she got like, it's really sad, like, you know, but I think she's sharing it to like bring awareness, it's a little cathartic, you know, to like get something off, you know, share and to help other people to like not get into the situation. But it's like 50 parts.
Yeah, it's like 4 hours.
50 parts of like 10-minute clips.
Yeah, so
long.
I have heard about it, but like I just have been a little busy and haven't dove into it. And so
typically that I would be like, there's no way.
We're opposite.
Yeah, but like I like true crime. I like this type of stuff. So I was like, I gotta see what this is about. Like I've had a lot of people, like I've seen people post stuff that it's like crazy, and I was like, I gotta know.
Yeah.
So I did power through and listened. I did listen on like one like higher speed, like 1.5 speed.
I was
to like speed up the process, but I have been listening, and so basically the gist is this. Man, it's so long, but and so it's, I think she's probably in her 30s, maybe late 30s, and he was in his 40s, so they're like older. So this involves like there's like kid, like just we're adults here.
Okay.
But this happened in like March. They meet in March of 2020.
Okay.
It's in Atlanta, Georgia. They meet. So she meets this guy on Facebook dating.
Okay.
So she mentions that she also matched with him on Hinge, but he was under a different name, and she explained it like
already.
Yeah. It's like she says it back and she's like, I know what you're thinking. Like all of these things are like super red flags. And she's like, I ignored the red flags. And also when you're like, when you think someone's normal, like you're not going to think, oh, he's like faking phone call. Like you're not like, that's not your first thought to be like, he's totally lying about this bank statement or this phone. Like you're thinking that someone's also being honest with you.
In my mind, I'm not seeing the bank statement until way further. So I would trust them even more down the line. So it's like I'm not going to,
When you're telling a story in the lens of like, this is a liar, you're of course of like, oh, it's probably a screenshot or it's probably fake. Yeah. But when you're like in it,
you don't know.
You're not thinking. That like if someone tells you something, you're going to typically believe them at face value. So he's like under a different name, but she explains it like it's like a nickname of the first name. So it's not completely different identities, but like a Matt to a Matthew. But she was like, it was a red flag. So she matches with him and they go on it. This is March of 2020 before everything shut down. They go on a date and he's like blows her away. Like, he's like, so a little bit of love bombing, like really interested in her, like says he's like super successful and like has all this money. She's like, he talks about money all the time. Other red flag. And then so they're like dating, like they go on a few dates, they hang out, they're interested in, she's like looking for a partner and he says the same. He says he's like been married before and has some stepchildren that are adults. They're not his, but his ex-wife had kids with somebody else. Okay. So he's like still in their lives. Then lockdown comes for COVID and they decide to lock down together after like 2 weeks of being together. So I think this is probably where COVID didn't help the situation. Like it just propelled things. People did that.
People were like, let's just do it together. Yeah. And then, she
was thinking this was like really serious. And he was like paying for her bills. Perfect. So she was like, cool, like you can but like she's like, it's the little things that like everything had like an answer. Like he was living in this little apartment because some stupid reason that he like was in between places and was like looking for a house, but like so there was always excuses. Okay. So she's like, move into my house, we'll quarantine in my house. So they like lock down and like things get pretty serious. They're like talking about marriage or talking about buying a house. Like he's like, I want to buy a house and like have you live in there. I want to like buy you a car, like all of this stuff that's like major. And she's like, I mean, cool, great. I'll take a car.
I'll take a house.
So they're like shopping for houses and like she does end up getting pregnant. Okay. So that propels things faster. Yeah. So now they really want to buy a house together. And he like gets it's crazy. He like gets approval from like realtors that he finds and says he has like 4 different accounts. There's like a Chase account, a different, all these accounts, has like money in all these places. And she's like, whatever.
Great.
So he gets approved for a $750,000 house. So that's like their limit. So they're like looking at house after house.
It's a nice house.
Yeah. But every time he'll put an offer in. He'll put an offer in quotations. But then anytime, like all cash, he'll be like all cash offer. And the realtor is like, okay, like we have to show proof of funds before they'll accept the offer. And I don't know real estate, but like, yeah, it makes sense. And he's like, no, I won't show proof of funds until after they accept the offer. So that happens 3 or 4 times. And the sellers are always like, no. Like I'm not
gonna trust that you have $750,000.
We're not going with that. And so of course it's just like she's like, it was so exhausting. Like, and when I shop for houses, it is exhausting when like you put an offer in, you're getting excited, and then you don't get it. Yeah, it's very mentally and emotionally like taxing because like you start dreaming of this house, like you want it, and then you don't get it. So this was happening repeatedly. She was getting more and more frustrated, and also like getting that gut feeling of like, something's off. Like, why won't you show them proof of funds? Why won't you show me proof of funds? Like, why won't you show our realtor proof of funds? And he just always was like, people always come after my money if I show them, you know, and blah, blah, blah. There was also issues with like cars. Like he would say he's going to get a company car, but like she never saw it in the flesh. Like it was always just like pictures, and he would park it somewhere else because he didn't want to park it in the neighborhood because it was like a BMW. Just like stupid.
Okay.
So all this stuff's like adding up. She has a miscarriage.
Oh.
So they don't have a
Sad.
child together. Yeah. So they get married.
Okay.
After being, I think, still in like 2020.
Okay.
They get married. He's still making all these promises. Like they're still in her place. Like they haven't moved or bought or done anything.
Yeah.
He's promised her a car, has never bought her a car, blah, blah, blah. So she just starts getting, like bad feelings. And she starts like, trying to think of like, okay, so she wants to get a new job. So in order to get this new job, so they're married at this point, she has to fill in like a background package, she called it. So her spouse has to fill out like some identifying data like social security number and blah, blah, blah. So she had already looked at the social security number from the marriage license, and she's like, I just felt it in my gut. I wrote down the social security number and I did a background check. Nothing came back. So she's like, whatever, fine. Then she looks at the social security number from this background packet, and it's different. It's a different social security number. So she takes that one, and she's like, either I wrote it down wrong or it's different. And it's different. It comes up different data. So then she like really did the work here. She starts going and like tracking things and like putting the pieces together, finds that he like different states that he's lived in. I didn't know this, but social security numbers, the first three
is a state.
Is identified by state. So she found, and the states were different than things that he had told her. And also he had told her that he played college football at San Diego State. Okay. She calls San Diego State. They have no record of him. Okay. She asked him about it. She's like, you never went to San Diego State, huh? And she's like, they have no record of you. And then his answer was, oh, I was a private student. I paid for that to be a private student. Okay. She's like, yeah, my dad, it was like a whole thing. He just like has an answer for everything. Yeah. Anyway, so she's like racking up all this confirmation, not really telling him. She finds out that he never went to San Diego State. She tracks down like his ex-wife, finds out that he was actually married twice before. Okay. So had like think 2 or 3 ex-wives. Finds her, calls her, and is like, listen, she's like, you need to run. You need to run. You need to get out of that. You need to get out. He had said that his ex-wife's daughter died from COVID. She didn't. He said that his grandmother died from COVID. She didn't. He lied about when his parents passed away. Like, they passed away in 2008. He said 2015. Like, just lying about all this stuff. He makes up siblings. Like, he has 2 brothers. He says he has 2 sisters and 2 brothers. And he's, like, talking to them on the phone every day. He's, like, going to he works at some he's a VP of a condiment company. He's saying. She's like, I listen when he calls me from work. There's, like, stuff going on in the background. Lo and behold, he has an entire criminal history of like impersonating an officer, trespassing, like all this stuff. He has multiple divorces, restraining orders, has no money, absolutely none, lied about his family. All his family members don't talk to him because he lies about everything. And so she's like, okay, I'm done. I'm drawing up the divorce papers and whatever. And eventually, like, he doesn't like fight it too much, but she like kicks him out of the house, and he literally has nowhere to go, like nowhere. He's living in his car. He like leaves, and I mean, there's like lots of details in there, but she does get the divorce. It is finalized, and he just completely, she's like, I think I just scratched the surface of like the lies that he would tell me.
She took 4 hours to explain this.
Yes. There's like so many details in between, but he would like call his brother every morning at 6 a.m. on his drive to work, and he was like like nobody was on the other line. Like, why would you do that? Like, what is the point of that?
That's so weird.
Yeah, like when she called his family, they're like, we haven't talked to him in like 5 years. And she's like, what?
So did she like, she never found out a lot of like, who were you like, did you call anyone? And he was just like, no.
She really only asked him. She like straight like right before she like kicked him out of the house. She was like, "You never went to San Diego State, did you?" And he's like, "I don't know why you keep bringing this up. Like I did." And then she was like, "Get out of the house," and like flipped out on him, but never like confront, because she's just like, he's just gonna like anything. Yeah, he is anything just gonna lie. Told her. But like she would ask like, "Let me see your checking account." He would like turn the phone and show her, and it was like screenshots of like. She like found like went through his phone one time and like took pictures, and then reversed Google searched it, and it was like just from Google
screenshots of like a bank account.
Yeah, like a bank account, a savings account. So she's like, I was fooled, obviously, but like, yeah, you're gonna trust someone who turns their phone and shows you like a Chase bank statement. That's a screenshot.
That's so crazy.
He was like texting, talking to other women too. Yeah. So she's like, the cheating wasn't it for me. Like it was like
cheating was just another
the
thing
pathological lying, but like literally talking to no. Like she said, we'd be in the car and he would like, she'd be like, I want to see your office, and he'd be like, okay, let me call the security guy. We would call the security guy, talk to no one, but like imitate a phone call and be like, oh, he's like off today, and the guy who has the key card is called out sick, so like we can't get in the building.
That is like pretty scary if you can come up with like, natural lies like that
on the
so
fly.
On
he
the
also
whim.
told, so he did have some like cousins and whatever that he like kind of had connections to, but he told all of them that they had a child together, like that she did not have a miscarriage. So a part of his family thought that they had a kid together, and so when she talked to the aunt, she's like, "How's your son doing?" Baby? She's like, "What baby?" But anyways.
Oh my gosh, I don't even know what I would do. Yeah. I mean, I'd probably do something similar to her.
Yeah.
But
I feel so it was like about it like a little over a year of her life. She got out in like 2021.
Oh, good. I thought it was like the last 4 years of her life.
Oh no, so they met in 2020, and then in 2021, I think in like maybe like August-ish.
Oh, thank goodness.
They were divorced.
It was like a year and a half. I literally thought it was like just now she realized.
No, I don't.
For the last
know why
5 years.
All of a sudden she decided to share this, but. One of the most recent ex-wife, they were only married for 6 months because of irreparable differences. But it's just like when someone just lies for the sake of it, it's pretty scary.
Yeah,
it's scary
to lie to about people dying.
Yeah, she's like, a lot of the money stuff, okay, whatever. She's like, I don't play around with death. Like, I will not lie about
your grandma dying, your daughter, your stepdaughter dying. Yeah. Like, that's pretty weird.
Yeah. So,
oh my gosh.
It's crazy. He was like he worked in like the factory of some condiment company, but he was not the VP.
He's like, no, I'm the VP.
Yeah. So he had like a twin brother that she had no idea about that had a lot of the things that he was saying he had. Oh. So some of the family members think that he like kind of took on that identity, but it was a wild ride.
That's crazy. I don't like that.
No,
I don't care for that.
I feel it is scary, like in like the age of online dating.
Yeah,
like how scary it can be. And I think, I mean, for her sake, I do think the whole COVID situation did throw some like, it like propelled it forward, because they probably wouldn't have moved in together that soon. Like things wouldn't have.
No. And you're living in a bubble at that point because of COVID.
Everything's shut down.
You're not seeing his day-to-day life and like what it normally would look like.
Everything was so
anyway.
online that I think it was easy probably for him to like
definitely
fake. You can fake,
and especially she's like not seeing anybody else.
She didn't really meet his family. They weren't really meeting realtors.
No,
like it was just like phone calls.
Yeah,
and stuff.
That makes a lot of sense.
But I feel really like sad. I'm glad she's like out of it, obviously, but it's like so. It's just I've like only caught people like a person in a lie like a few times.
Yeah.
And it's just like a weird, like, you just like, what do I do?
You're just like, what? You just blatantly lied.
Like, for what?
For
like,
what?
For what?
Just like, I feel like we both know.
And like, yeah, for no reason.
Yeah.
Like, but then I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, do I like make a big deal out of it? Do I like call it out? Do I just, I don't know.
I weirdly do think like lying for me is like such a end of anything, like friendship.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I'm thinking of one that I've had where they like blatantly just lied to my face in a friendship, and I was like, I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm
like,
not interested.
It feels pretty like betraying when like, you know that they just like lied to your
like,
face.
Okay,
and you're like,
cool. I have no interest with you being close in my life now.
Yeah, because I think
where does it end?
Yeah, like his family was saying he just like always has lied, and it starts as a kid. So I think I learned this in Sunday school as a kid. Like the little white lies like will build into bigger ones. So
what was it? The Veggie Tales
the weed.
Oh wait, that's rumors.
Oh.
Duh.
Oh yeah, but there is
that's
something
not
about,
lies.
There is something about
there is one for
about,
sure.
Like the lies.
Easily.
But,
that's crazy. Well,
yeah.
if you guys are online dating, make sure you know who you're
careful.
dating. Be careful.
Don't move in with
there.
anyone after like 2 weeks, maybe.
Yeah, maybe meet the family before.
And I think at the end of the day,
get some references.
Yeah, the gut feeling I think is real.
That is so true.
Follow that. Watch the red flags.
Yes.
Because people will tell you and show you who they are.
It's very true.
A lot of the time.
I agree.
But just by how they act, how they communicate with you, little like white lies here and there typically mean there's like bigger lies.
1,000%.
Yeah.
1,000%.
So.
We are gonna do an embarrassing stories episode.
Yes.
Where me and Azsia are gonna share some of our most embarrassing stories ever.
Yeah.
And so you should also share them. Obviously they'll be anonymous, but we'll post that. But it's also in our bio anyway. So if you want to fill out an anonymous embarrassing story, please do
help us feel better about ours.
Yeah. Mine's pretty. But it's fine. I already share enough embarrassing stories on this.
Let's
I have
laugh
no
about
shame.
it.
But thank you guys for listening.
Yeah.
Bye.